All right, welcome to your personalized deep dive this week.
This is exciting.
You asked for an astrology forecast, so specifically for March 3rd to the 9th, 2025.
Okay.
And we're pulling from Tarot by C for this one. And I got to say, the energy this week, it's giving bold communication and intuitive action. You know what I'm saying? It's like the universe is like, trust your gut and speak your truth.
Ooh, I like that.
But there's a twist.
Uh-oh.
Mercury goes retrograde mid-month.
Oh, of course.
So to help us unpack all of this, we have our amazing expert who can decode all those cosmic whispers.
Well, thank you. It's definitely an interesting setup for the week.
Right.
And before we dive into the week itself, let's kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture, like the overall astrological landscape for March 2025. What's fascinating is that we're already in Venus retrograde.
Okay.
Which, you might be feeling that already as a push to kind of reevaluate things, like your relationships, finances, what you truly value. Think about it. Is there any area of your life that feels a bit out of balance right now? This could be Venus retrograde at work.
Ooh, that's such a good point. Venus retrograde is always a time for reflection, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we have Venus retrograde happening, and then Mercury retrograde starts on March 15th. 2 retrogrades in 1 month. Should we be worried?
I wouldn't say worried,
Yeah.
but definitely prepared.
Okay.
Mercury retrograde can bring communication snafus, tech glitches, so it's just a good time to double check those important emails, travel plans, things like that.
Right.
But on top of that,
Right.
we also have Neptune moving into Aries for the first time in about 150 years.
Whoa, 150 years. That's a huge shift. What does that even mean for us?
It suggests a major change in how we approach spirituality and creativity. Aries is all about action and pioneering. So we might see a bolder, more individualistic approach to those areas.
Okay, interesting.
And if that wasn't enough, March also marks the beginning of eclipse season, with a lunar eclipse on March 13th. Eclipses can accelerate change, sometimes bringing things to a head that have been brewing under the surface.
Okay, so March is definitely packed with astrological events.
It is, yeah.
But let's zero in on the week of March 3rd to the 9th.
Okay.
Mercury is in Aries during that time, which I've always heard is a very dynamic placement.
It is, yeah.
What should our listener be aware of as Mercury transits through this fiery sign?
Yeah, Mercury in Aries is definitely about boldness and quick thinking. Think of it as this burst of mental energy, perfect for starting new projects or, expressing yourself with confidence.
I like that.
However, Mercury in Aries can also make us impulsive and a bit too quick to speak our minds sometimes.
So it's that classic think before you speak energy.
Exactly. And with Mercury retrograde approaching, that impulsivity could be amplified.
Oh, right.
So while it's a great time to brainstorm, initiate things I'd advise holding off on any major decisions or signing contracts until after Mercury goes direct in April.
So use that Aries energy for the ideation, but maybe not for inking any deals just yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Anything else we should keep in mind during this first week of Mercury in Aries?
Since communication is heightened, choose your words carefully. What's interesting here is that we might feel more assertive than usual, but it's important to temper that with sensitivity, especially since, everyone's dealing with these potent astrological energies.
It's like the universe is giving us a microphone, but we need to be mindful of how we use it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so with all that in mind, let's break down the specific astrological events happening during this week.
Okay, sounds good.
Hi, Sini points out a Mercury sextile Pluto aspect on Wednesday.
Okay.
Can you explain what a sextile is and what this aspect might bring?
Yeah, so a sextile in astrology is a harmonious angle between two planets, suggesting a flow of energy between them. In this case, Mercury sextile Pluto indicates deep, possibly intense conversations. It's a time when secrets might be revealed, or we feel compelled to get to the heart of the matter. This aspect favors strategic thinking and honesty, but it can also make us a bit more blunt or prone to power struggles.
Oh, so it's like a cosmic truth serum.
Kind of, yeah.
But instead of speak your mind no matter what, it's more about finding a balance between honesty.
Diplomacy.
Yes, diplomacy.
Clarity is essential, but it's important to deliver your message with kindness and tact. This aspect can bring up strong emotions, so active listening is key.
Yeah.
Try to truly understand the other person's perspective instead of just waiting for your turn to speak.
That's such a valuable reminder. I know I can get caught up in my own thoughts sometimes and forget to truly listen.
Yeah, we all do.
Okay, so Wednesday is all about navigating those potentially intense conversations with a blend of honesty and diplomacy. Now on Friday, we have a Sun trine Mars aspect, which sounds a lot more upbeat.
It is, yeah.
What does trine mean in this context, and what kind of energy can we expect?
So a trine is another harmonious aspect, indicating a smooth flow of energy between planets.
Okay.
Sun trine Mars is all about taking action. But it's not just any action. It's action aligned with your true self.
I like that.
You might feel this surge of motivation and courage, especially when it comes to pursuing your passions. It's a day to trust your gut and go for it.
I love that. It's like the universe is giving us a pep talk saying, you got this.
Exactly, yeah.
But how does this intuitive action vibe fit into the broader themes of bold communication and the potential Mercury retrograde hiccups we talked about earlier?
That's a great question. So if we connect this back to the bigger picture, this Sun-Mars alignment encourages us to trust our instincts,
right?
Which is especially important with Mercury in Aries and the upcoming retrograde.
Okay.
It's like, yes, be bold and speak your truth.
Yeah.
But also listen to your inner voice and make sure your actions feel aligned with your authentic self.
So boldness and intuition go hand in hand this week.
Yes.
It's like a cosmic dance between taking action and making sure it feels right.
Exactly. And that leads us perfectly into the day-by-day breakdown for the week. Ready to break it down even further?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But before we do, I want to check in with you, the listener.
Yeah, great idea.
What are your initial thoughts about all this?
Yeah.
Are there any specific areas where you're hoping to tap into this week's energy? Think about that as we continue this deep dive into your personalized forecast.
Yes. Keep those questions in mind as we delve deeper into how these energies might play out for you each day of the week.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about the big astrological picture for March and the overall energy of Mercury in Aries. Now, let's actually zoom in on each day of the week.
Okay.
Starting with Monday, March 3rd. This is the day Mercury actually enters Aries. So you might feel this surge of mental energy and a desire to take charge.
It's like the universe is handing us a fresh start, right? How can we make the most of this energetic shift?
Yeah, think about those projects you've been putting off. Maybe there's a conversation you've been meaning to have or an idea you've been wanting to explore. This is like your cosmic nudge to get started. But remember, we're still in Mercury's retrograde shadow. So it's more about brainstorming, planning, and gathering information than making any big moves just yet.
So Monday's for laying the groundwork and getting those creative juices flowing.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Tuesday?
Tuesday brings a slightly more introspective vibe.
Okay.
It's a good day to review your goals, reflect on your communication style, and consider how you can express yourself more authentically. It's almost like taking a moment to check your compass before embarking on a new journey.
Ooh, I love that analogy because we're about to enter this potentially chaotic period with the upcoming retrograde. It's a smart move to take a pause and make sure we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Wednesday is when that intense Mercury sextile Pluto aspect kicks in.
Yeah.
And we talked about navigating those deep conversations with honesty and diplomacy. Any other practical tips for that day?
Wednesday is a great day for research, problem solving, and getting to the bottom of things. However, be mindful of getting lost in obsessive thinking or overanalyzing situations. It's like you can put on your detective hat, but don't fall down the rabbit hole.
That's a great way to put it. So channel that inquisitive energy, but don't let it consume you.
Exactly. Yeah. Remember, this aspect is about finding clarity and truth, but it's also about understanding and compassion.
Right. Okay. So we've got Monday's fresh start energy, Tuesday's introspective vibe, Wednesday's deep dive potential. What about Thursday? Does the energy lighten up a bit?
Thursday is a day that favors collaboration and connection.
Okay.
It's a good time to reach out to people who inspire you, brainstorm with colleagues, or simply connect with loved ones.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I find it interesting that Thursday's energy is all about connection, especially after the intensity of Wednesday. It's like after we've done some soul searching and potentially had some challenging conversations, we're guided to reach out and connect with others. What do you think?
I completely agree. It highlights the importance of balance. You know, we can't always be in deep introspection mode. We need those moments of connection and collaboration to bring our ideas to life and to support each other through challenging times.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Thursday is for teamwork and building relationships.
Yes.
Now on to Friday, which you mentioned has that amazing Sun trine Mars energy, encouraging us to take aligned action. How can we practically apply this energy to our day?
Think about something you've been wanting to do, a project you've been dreaming of starting, or a goal you've been putting off. This is the day to take that first step. It's all about trusting your gut and taking action that feels authentic to you.
I remember a time when I had a big decision to make, and I kept going back and forth, analyzing every possible outcome. But then I finally just tuned into how I felt deep down. And it was like this wave of clarity just washed over me. I knew exactly what I needed to do.
That's a perfect example of how intuition can guide us when we're at a crossroads. And this Friday, with the Sun trine Mars, we're being given that extra boost of confidence to act on our intuition.
Yeah, I love that. So Friday is for taking a leap of faith and trusting ourselves?
Yes.
I'm starting to feel really excited about this week.
I know, me too.
Okay, we've covered Monday through Friday. What about the weekend? How can we integrate those astrological influences into our Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday is a good day for self-care and nurturing your soul.
Okay.
After a week of potentially intense conversations and taking bold actions, you might need a little time to recharge and reconnect with yourself, spending time in nature, doing something creative, or simply relaxing with loved ones can help you replenish your energy.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in the power of downtime, especially when we're navigating these big astrological transits.
Right.
What about Sunday? How should we round out the week?
Sunday is a great day for reflection and integration. It's a time to look back on the week, acknowledge your accomplishments, and set intentions for the week ahead. Journaling, meditation, or simply taking some quiet time to process your thoughts and feelings can be really beneficial.
It's like taking a moment to celebrate how far we've come and to set our sights on what we want to create next.
Exactly. It's a powerful way to end the week and prepare for the new opportunities that lie ahead.
This has been so incredibly helpful. I feel like I have a roadmap for not only surviving, but actually thriving this week.
It's great to hear. I'm glad.
But before we wrap up, I want to remind you that astrology is a tool for self-discovery and empowerment. You always have free will and the ability to choose how you respond to these cosmic influences.
That's such an important point. It's not about being dictated by the planets, but about understanding the energies at play and using that knowledge to make conscious choices.
Exactly. And remember, even though we focused on this specific week, the themes of boldness and intuition can be explored and integrated into your life on an ongoing basis. Pay attention to how those things show up for you, and trust yourself to navigate whatever comes your way. This has been a fantastic deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much, and I'm sure our listener feels the same way.
Me too, yeah. It's always fascinating to explore these astrological nuances and to see how they can be applied to our everyday lives.
All right, so before we say goodbye, let's recap the key takeaways for our listener. What are the essential things to remember as we head into the week of March 3rd to 9th?
Okay, great idea.
Okay, listener, let's recap what we've uncovered in your personalized astrological forecast for the week of March 3rd to 9th.
Yeah, sounds good.
So first, remember that the overarching theme for this week is this balancing act between bold communication and intuitive action.
Right.
Mercury in Aries is giving us that push to speak our minds and take charge. But remember, it's also squaring off with this retrograde period. So we really need to find that sweet spot between being assertive and being thoughtful. What would you say are the most important things to keep in mind during this Mercury in Aries transit?
I think it's about being mindful of how we communicate.
Yeah.
We might feel more direct and outspoken than usual.
Yeah.
But it's crucial to temper that with empathy and awareness. Think before you speak and really consider the impact your words might have on others.
And it's not just about what we say, but also about how we listen.
Absolutely. Active listening is key this week, especially with that Mercury sextile Pluto aspect on Wednesday. Those deep conversations can be incredibly valuable if we approach them with a willingness to truly understand each other.
It's like we're being invited to go beyond the surface level.
Yeah.
And really connect on a deeper level. But how do we make sure we're not just listening to respond, but actually listening to understand? Any tips on becoming a better listener?
One thing that helps me is to focus on the other person's perspective.
Okay.
Try to put yourself in their shoes and see things from their point of view. And don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions. Sometimes just saying, "Can you tell me more about that?" can make a huge difference.
Yeah, that's great advice. Okay, so we've got bold communication, intuitive action, deep conversations, and active listening. Is there anything else we should add to our astrological toolkit for this week?
Don't forget about the importance of self-care.
Yes.
With all this mental and emotional energy swirling around,
Yeah.
it's essential to take time to recharge and nurture yourself, whether it's spending time in nature, indulging in a creative hobby, or simply getting enough sleep. Make sure you're prioritizing your well-being.
Yes, I am a huge advocate for self-care. It's not selfish, it's essential.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, What is the one thing you want our listener to take away from this week's forecast?
I want to emphasize that this is a week of tremendous potential.
Okay.
The astrological energies are supporting us to step into our power, communicate authentically, and take aligned action. But it's up to us to harness those energies and use them wisely.
Beautifully said. It's like we have all these cosmic gifts at our disposal.
Right.
But we need to choose how we want to unwrap them. Any final words of wisdom for our listener as they navigate this week's astrological landscape?
Trust yourself. You have the inner wisdom and strength to navigate whatever comes your way. Listen to your intuition, speak your truth, and take bold steps toward your dreams. And remember, even though we focused on this specific week, the themes of boldness and intuition are something you can continue to explore and integrate into your life on an ongoing basis.
I love that. It's like a cosmic invitation to keep growing and evolving. Thank you so much for sharing your incredible insights with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
It was my pleasure as well. I always enjoy these deep dives.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this astrological adventure. We hope you feel empowered and inspired to make the most of this week's amazing energy. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. We're all in this together, navigating the cosmic waves and supporting each other along the way. Until next time, keep shining bright.